Hello, welcome to Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Johnny Ruhal. With me, as always, is my co-host, Benjamin Silversword Shaving. And joining us is special guest, Dylan Dark God Rowie.
Oh, he got the cooler one.
No, he got the cringier one. He got the
agree.
Shinibu delusional one. Wait, who are you agreeing with, Dylan?
I agree. I got the cringier one.
Yeah, it's definitely like... That's classic... What do they call it? Middle school syndrome when they translate it, but Shinibu behavior. Pretending you're Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho is
it just sounds like classic weeb nicknaming.
Yeah. It's always they're always copying Hiei. All the Shinibu characters, like I've got a dark dragon in my arm that's like that's something that Hiei literally has. Like nobody's going around copying Kuwabara and telling their spirit sword to get long.
They're doing that too.
Dylan, did you watch Yu Yu Hakusho?
I have not seen all of Yu Yu Hakusho.
But you're familiar with
I have seen
Mulberry's a bush and Kuwabara's a man?
But I have not.
What?
That's a line he says in the dub. Mulberry's a bush and Kuwabara's a man. And then he tells his sword to get long.
I just know he sounds kind of like
There's
Russell
a lot
Man.
of those classics that people say are good that I just don't think are good. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of those.
Yu Yu
Unpopular opinion, but
Yu Yu Hakusho is a lot of fun. I like the detective stuff more than I like all the tournament stuff.
that's fair.
And the dub is just like classic 90s, like they're
Yeah.
gonna say damn and hell a bunch, which is fun too. So
kind of like old Naruto dub.
Do you like Hunter x Hunter?
I love Hunter x Hunter.
It's the same author.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Hunter x Hunter's supposed to be coming back next year.
Oh.
Soon, TN.
There's arcs of the manga out, and I tried to like read the next arc of the manga after the anime drops, and it's like it's super like dense. Like there's so much like politics and stuff going on, and it's like all on a boat, and it's like I can't quite.
Not the boat.
Is it the boat?
What do you mean the boat?
I don't know. The
School
boat that
days.
I saw?
What?
Isn't that School Days?
What?
I never watched all the School Days. I gave up after episode 2.
What's that one really weird show? That's I don't know. It's like that I want to say it was School Days. I don't know. I can't remember it now.
Is there a boat in it?
What was that dude's name that used to do the super serious anime reviews?
Demo?
Yeah, Demo.
Talking
it was,
Berserk?
No, it wasn't Berserk.
You're talking about Space Boat?
No.
Who's driving
The Space Boat!
No. Like, the ending of the show, after this high school girl, like, went on, like, a murder spree because the person she liked didn't like her back. I thought that was School Days.
That's a School Day premise, I think.
No,
Yeah.
School Day premise is like, I think there's a stabbing at the end. I don't think she goes on a murder spree.
Well, however, it's actually...
But I don't think there's a
It's
boat.
been a long time since
I
I've seen
don't
School
remember
Days.
there being a boat. I've never seen it, though.
Yeah.
I have to find that demo episode back because I swear there was a boat or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, any excuse is a good excuse to go watch old demo videos. We made a reference to a demo video in a group chat with Alex recently, and he's like, and Ben's like, Johnny doesn't know that reference, and I'm like, Alex said, I know that it's a reference, but I don't know what to. So I'm like, well, I guess I got to go watch demo videos to find exactly which one this was in. And in fact, it's relevant for the next episode we're going to record tonight. So
Demo is? Or?
Well, that quote that I mentioned
gotcha.
will be relevant, so don't let me forget about that when we talk about Lazarus in our spring preview. Okay. Because that's what the conversation text was about, was Lazarus, I'm pretty sure. Okay. If it's not obvious by minute 4 here, we're talking about I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Oh, now they're just looking at Ben's phone. What are you laughing at?
The reference.
The reference.
The text.
Oh, okay.
I forgot what it was.
Okay. Again, I guess I mean, we can choose what order we release.
No,
these.
this is your fault. You put us on the same side.
I don't think
Look,
I've ever been on this
it's
side
not my
before.
fault. It's the fault that both of you were quiet on the mic. I needed to point the mic to you guys. It's never a problem that I'm quiet on the
You
mic.
need a boom mic, you know, one of those just...
Yeah.
You had to stand and have it boom down.
Okay, well, do you want to come over every time we record and hold the boom mic there?
No,
bud?
you gotta get one that has a stand. Like mine has a clamp that clamps on the side of my desk.
Yeah, I got a mic like that. It's on the side of my desk.
He just doesn't want to move it.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to move. It's a pain in the ass to hook up, too, because it's got to go to a box, which needs power, and that needs to go plug into the computer itself.
Yeah.
It's
That's how mine is, too.
So I just leave it on my computer. We use that mic the rare time that we stream, which that never happens anymore. I mostly just use it for when I am playing video games with people online.
Right.
It's just my mic. So I want to start with Ben. What is your
Did
rating
you say
of
the show?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
You guys were giggling.
We were
Are you
giggling
you
over-
were looking up the text so that you could start to giggle when I said it. What is your ranking? What would you rate? I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time.
It's like a 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go 5. Dylan, what's your rating?
It's like a 6 or a 7. And
Okay.
I'm right
Okay.
there in between.
So maybe a little bit higher than
a
us,
6
but
or a
I'll go-
7 is not in between us. But...
No, in between 6 and 7. Like,
Oh, okay.
I can't. I don't know if I'd really give it a 7.
You would not commit to a 7.
I would not commit to a 7, but I think it's higher than a 6.
No, I am like hard 6. You're lucky to get a 6.
Yeah. I'm like, nah. I'm giving this one a 5. I'm sorry. It's. There's nothing
The ending's-
terrible about it,
Mhm.
but it's just whatever. And it doesn't help that we took a long time to watch the last 2 episodes. We watched the last 2 episodes tonight.
Oh,
Because we were like, well, we need to we didn't want to record after it being like 2 weeks since we had seen the ending of the show. Because we had done that last season, and it's like, we've got nothing to talk about. Yeah. And then there was also like, but when can we get Dylan in to record? So it just kind of turned into we should delay these episodes. We're not in any big rush to watch them, per se. And in fact, we weren't going to do an episode if you didn't express interest in being on this episode.
yeah, because whenever you asked me to be on the episode, and I knew I only had 2 or 3 episodes left, I don't remember. But then I went back to episode 1 and just watched the whole thing through again instead of
Okay. We weren't gonna
trying
do
to
that.
figment my my memory of how the show went. But yeah, like there wasn't a whole lot of great sustenance in it, but I thoroughly enjoyed the ride. Like,
I will give it this credit, is that I too hate overtime.
exactly.
And I too
As a working adult,
refuse to work it if I can. Like I have to work overtime sometimes because I'll just be like stuck on a call, and I'm good enough at customer service that I'm not, and I know it's my job to not be like, okay, well, I'm going to send you to somebody else. Fuck off. It's 4:30. I'm leaving. I'm not going to do that. I'm good enough at my job to not do that, and I get mad when other people do that shit because I normally get the call right at the end of the goddamn shift. And they're pissed, or they didn't properly tell them that they were transferring, so now they're like, well, why the hell did I get transferred? I was talking to somebody, and it's like, well, honestly, it's probably because you walked away from the phone and you weren't there, and they're like, I need to go pick up my kid or something. Like,
right?
and there's reasons why you would need to leave. Like, you need to pick up your kid. That's like a federal offense in some states where you can't leave your kid at child care services late.
They will call the cops on you if you leave your kids.
Oh, crap.
Did you forget your kids at a child care service place?
Yeah,
Ben?
I just remembered. I forgot my kids.
All 0 of them?
Yeah.
I only have 4 of them.
Yeah, I was talking about Ben.
Between the 3 of us, we have 4 kids.
Yeah.
The numbers are a little skewed, though.
Yeah, so there's definitely an outlier. Okay. But in that situation, you would calmly explain, okay, hey, there's... And I've had stuff like that, too, where it's like, I need to get to some sort of appointment. Or, you know, and, like, I'm very, like, hey, I hate to do this. Some people don't do that, and it pisses me off.
Right.
Because, like, well, I'm doing it. I'm staying 2 hours late sometimes because there's some convoluted issue that is nobody else has run into before, and we have to try to troubleshoot it. Anyway, but other than that, anytime there's like hey, we need people to work overtime, I never take it. I'm never volunteering because fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, I will work the hours that I am scheduled. You should hire more people.
To be fair, though, I usually do volunteer for, like, weekend work because I make a lot of money on weekend work.
Yeah, I make more money in overtime, but it's so much not worth it. So, like, there's a sliding scale, right? Mm-hmm. How much is my time worth? How much is the overtime paying me? How much is my PTO worth? So, like, if they will say, hey, you can flex off time, meaning, like, well, in a circumstance where I've already worked overtime because of staying late, sometimes they will offer me flex time to say, hey, you worked 2 hours late this week. Do you want to leave 2 hours early on Friday so that we don't have to pay you overtime? I go, yes, because my time is more important than the overtime. I value my time more than I do overtime. And I also value my, like I could use PTO sometimes and they let me leave early too. They're like, do you want to use PTO or do you want to go unpaid? And like sometimes I just choose to go unpaid because my PTO is also worth, more to me.
For my personal time. Like, I want to do something with it, not just get off early on a Friday.
Yeah. So like, it matters like how much you value time. They make some sort of sweet deal, or I'm helping somebody out. There's one time I helped somebody out of a tight spot by working, like covering part of their shift, and it was a friend of mine. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. That's fine.
Right. There
are other times where like, okay, look, I know this is a complicated issue. I know you're in a really tight spot, and you need somebody to come in before we're open and like make sure that your shit got fixed over the weekend and is set up. Yeah, I'll clock in at 6 a.m. Monday and help out.
Right.
And in that situation, everything was fine and I didn't have to do anything. But it was one of those things where I'm just like, okay, I will make special circumstances, but normally I can't be bothered to work extra shifts. Like, that's not my job.
Yeah.
And some people fucking love it. They're like, yeah, I'll work, the extra 2 hours because I want overtime. And your weekend situation, it made it sweet enough that it was worth your time to take that
like
weekend.
Anything on Sundays, double time, and very much worth it. And that's also usually when we do the cool stuff because, like, if we have scheduled weekend work, it's usually like helicopter drops, and it's just really cool to do. Like,
what?
Like dropping rooftop units onto buildings with helicopters.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you have to catch them?
I mean, like, we guide the ropes down to their spot on the roof, not necessarily get under it. Like, I got it.
That's less impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about catching stuff in catching heavy things when we are doing our season preview.
I think I know what show you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, well, we're just going to name drop some
of the
shows.
Which ones? I think there's two that could be.
Well, I'm thinking Witch Watch. What are you thinking?
I was first thinking Gorilla Girl.
Okay, yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, wait, it could also be Witch Watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gorilla Girl is a little bit more feasible than what happens in Witch Watch. Because she catches a person with one hand, which is not believable, but it's a little bit more believable than that dude catching a car.
That's true. He's an ogre, though.
Okay, but that's the unbelievable part, Ben.
I'd definitely say catching a person would be a lot easier than catching a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's an ogre. You gotta remember, he's an ogre. He has super strength.
You have to remember that she is blessed by the gorilla god and has super strength too, but to a lesser degree is all I'm saying, Ben. Is that the feat is way more impressive to catch a car.
I don't know. I feel like we're on the same page.
I feel like you think ogres are real, is what you're implying from your statement. You're like, it's believable because he's an ogre. Okay, but the ogre part is part of what's unbelievable, Ben.
I'm just saying, he's an ogre. Of course he can catch a car.
But ogres aren't real.
Well, yeah, neither are gorilla got powers.
Okay, so then we have to compare it to human feats, and the Gorilla God power feat is more feasible for a human to do.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
She also does that superhero landing, though.
I mean, you could, like... I mean, if you're pointing out human feats, you know, like... There are some humans that look like ogres. I mean, it's just... It's a very...
All right, Dylan, if you want to
I'm
talk
just
bad
saying.
about your wife... Then
Oh,
okay.
I did not... Those words did not come out of my mouth.
I know.
Okay.
All the best.
We
here.
finally
I
get
am
him
not
over
sleeping
here.
on
You're
the
just gonna
couch
shit
tonight.
talk her.
Oh, she doesn't listen to this. She might. You might make her listen to some episodes that you do. I know you made her listen to one of the episodes.
I made her listen to the first 3 I was on.
Okay.
First 2 maybe. I don't... Because I did the first few guest spots I had. They were all fairly... Like
Short?
yeah, like in a short time frame. Like I was on.
Oh, you
'Cause we
meant
did
close
the-
together.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas this time it's probably been about a year since I've been on the podcast.
At least.
Well, you're never free when we want you to be free. And when you
Yeah.
are free, you don't text me. It's always me texting you like, I wonder if Dylan's free. Nope, not free. Okay.
Also, I just feel like we don't watch the same shows.
We really don't.
That's the thing. I don't watch a whole lot anymore. It's mainly just reading because it's easier to do. It's more convenient for me. Like
Yeah.
I always have time if I'm laying somewhere to sit and scroll and read. And
All right, should we talk about the show now?
Sure.
I talked about overtime for a bit. Now, I mean, I just didn't jive with this show. I think the main girl, it was cool at first how she was just overpowered for like no reason whatsoever. But then, and that she was just sort of like angry and full of it. But I feel like they just kind of lost steam after that with her, where she's just like, okay, well, now she's just going to be angry again, and then, you know, want to be treated like a normal person from the main dude. And then she gets mad at him when he starts treating her like a normal, like,
Yeah, there's very
okay,
little
I
development.
won't draw attention to you. And she's like, well, now that makes me mad too. It's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't, like, expect him to go above and beyond for you and then get mad at him when he goes above and beyond for you.
coming
Like,
from somebody who's married, I promise you, all women have that exact same mindset.
coming from somebody who's married, you're talking about all women. Pretty cavalier there, Dylan.
Pretty
What do you know
cavalier.
about all women? You should only know about, like,
A few, but
your mom, your sisters. I don't know. Do you have sisters? I know you have
A
brothers.
sister.
You have a sister. You
I
should
have
know
a
about your
sister.
mom, your sister, your wife, and your daughters. And those are the only women you should know about.
and that's all women. Period. Right there. The end.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Now I'm getting in perspective here. I don't know why I'm so accusing of you. I'm coming out here saying that you're not doing anything, but I'm just like, Dylan. He's looking at other women. He's mad at his wife, but
Never.
I don't know why I'm putting that on you.
I can never be mad at her. She does too much for me.
All right. Like, let you come over here and record a podcast
Exactly.
on a Monday night. No, we have to stay on Rachel's good side. Otherwise, we'll never see you again. Don't show her this episode. You show her.
I didn't say anything.
I don't intend to.
Okay. Sorry, I just got to juice whatever comedy I can because I have nothing to say about this show. The heel turn at the end. We're in spoilers now. The heel turn at the end of the Guildmaster, I just could not give a shit. Like, I'm just like, all right, your tragic backstory that we had no, like, leading up to, and, like, the reveal that you're the Man in Black. Again, no real leading up to that.
There's like no hints either, really.
Yeah, it's just like, there's, like, the episode before it's revealed, there's just like, what if it's this guy?
And then it is this guy.
It's like, oh, it turns out it's this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree that the plot felt a little rushed. I feel like it needed to be, 24, not 12.
No, I
No.
feel like it needed to be like 6 episodes. Or like do what, again, I'm just going to name drop another one that we're going to talk about next up. Do what Yandere Dark Elf did and just make 12-minute episodes.
That's fair too.
You have 12-minute episodes, I feel like, and have less story in those 12-minute episodes.
But I wanted more story and I wanted more ignored romance.
what is it? I think the two best parts of this show are like their kind of romance. I like him.
Yes.
I liked it a lot.
Whenever he's like doing the Riz, I like it.
Yeah. And she just annoyed me there.
Yeah.
She's always mad at him. Like, that's not...
Like, for no good reason, too.
Yeah, it's like, he is helping. He's helping you with your overtime work.
And you're mad at him for helping.
He's like, trying to help you fulfill your dream of going to the festival. And like, sure, he should not like expect a date in return, but like, he's not been a creepazoid per se.
Right. Yeah.
And you clearly like don't care about him somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you care about him enough to not want him to die, or you know, to like go and save him.
Right.
There's a difference between caring about somebody enough to go and save them and put your own life on the line versus caring enough about somebody to hope that they don't die. It's like, there's nobody that I hope dies. Well, in some of my more angry moments, there are people that I hope die. But I try to be a good person and just go like, well, there's always a chance that people could change. And I don't necessarily want to be around when that happens. I don't want this person in my life, but I wish them all the best. And that's like, there's people I went to high school with, and I'm just like, do I go to my class reunion this year? I'll put interested on the Facebook request instead of going, and I'll just see who else marks that they're going. Oh, that person's going? Never mind. Like,
my 10 years next weekend.
Ours, that feels wrong. Was ours 2 years ago?
I don't know. I didn't go.
I didn't either.
My 10 years.
I don't have
April
Facebook.
27th.
Yeah, I know you don't have Facebook because I get told to invite you and like Brock, even though Brock has Facebook. I'm fairly for sure, but I don't think he's ever on it.
Gotcha.
Our class reps reach out to me. Hey, do you know if Ben or Brock are going to show up? I'm like, I don't know. I'll ask them.
I think the last time I had to work.
But
anyways,
it's just like, okay, yep. Forgive them for any past transgressions. Wish them the best. Don't ever want to see them again.
Right.
Like, that's the best I can do at this point in my life. I don't want that person to come, those types of people to come back into my life if I can help it. So, anyways, about this show again.
About the show. So again, I liked him for the most part, and I liked the Dark God fights. There just needed to be more of it.
I feel like I could have done with just. Well, I guess there's really only 2 to 3 Dark God fights.
There's like 2 and like a quarter.
Yeah, if you count the end. Yeah,
the end fight was 5 minutes. It's just like, what are we doing here?
It's a little bit longer than 5 minutes.
Maybe.
It was like a lot of that episode.
That should have been a majority of an episode, and it was not.
Yeah,
it's like they should have made that.
That fight just wasn't interesting because it's like he freezes time. How does she beat that? Well, she can break the time freeze. How? I don't know.
That's how.
I like that she's got a big hammer.
I think her skill is that she can like withstand this Dia powers or whatever.
I think she can break stuff.
Yeah, it's Dia break. That's
so she breaks the power or whatever. But it's also just like, but how do you break something when you're frozen in time? Like,
I don't know.
Like if she had to like figure it out, if there was some sort of like head narration where she's like, okay, or it was the one dude got the ability where he was able to like sort of predict the future by combining those 3 powers and like kind of see like where he's going to hit next. If he was like, okay, he's going to swing here and activate time stop, you need to swing right as he's activating time stop in this place in order to like actually break the skill as he's casting it or something, then maybe I'd be like, okay, yeah, good job. You're able to find a way to break it. Or if you were just like, hey, look, every time he has to freeze time, he holds up his hand for a couple of seconds and says Dia Kronos or whatever. Yeah. Well, hey, why don't, while he's saying Dia, you just smack him with the hammer? You can summon the hammer back to you. Just throw that bitch at him.
Exactly.
While he's casting, bum rush him. That's the thing. Like, his weakness is that there's casting time. Like, with That's like a wizard's weakness in older editions
Right.
of D&D where it's like, hey, it's going to take you like 5 turns to cast this. You're like, well, if I kill the wizard before he can finish the ritual, we win. Like...
Final Fantasy Tactics is the same way. It's got charge time. You just kill the enemy before the charge time goes.
Yeah. So, like, if there was just something with that last fight was so whatever.
So,
but I did have a question for you, Dylan. Question. That last fight, she's able to cut his arm off with a hammer. Now, there is a spike part of the hammer.
Yeah, it's like a blade, because it shows her cutting a bunch of things. Like, she cuts the dragon, like, in half in the first episode.
No. She rips. So here's the thing. She's got 2 sides to the hammer. There's a spike, and there's the hammer. That's piercing and bludgeoning. Now, with the dragon, you can pierce in and then drag down. I'll give you that. All right? But with that arm, did she just, like, puncture a big enough hole in his shoulder that his arm fell off? Is that how that happened?
That's what I said.
I want Dylan's opinion on this.
I think you're underestimating how long that blade is on the end. I mean, it might not look long, but that thing could, if it's like 6 inches or so.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I like how he knew exactly where it was.
Oh, I thought about that 5 seconds before you said it. I knew you were going.
But, like, if that blade's long enough and she just slashes upwards,
It's not a blade. It's a point.
But
if I have a really long needle, I can't slash you with it. I can only poke you with it.
Depends on where you're trying.
But if the needle's big enough, you can take the arm off.
I guess that's my question. Was she just very precise in getting the puncture point to sever that?
No, I think...
I always thought of it more as a blade than a spike.
I think this part of the side of the spike is more bladed.
Yeah, because it's like like scythe. It's like
so she's just breaking all the
like the top is rounded, but
she
the
can
bottom
have all
is bladed.
3 physical damage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like, and that's another reason why I think not the whole slicing portion, but like, there's not enough Dark God fights in the show. They don't go enough into her backstory on. I mean, yeah, they have the 8-minute section of her seeing her friend die and then praying to that statue to get her power. But that's why I think it needed more. Like, standalone, it's just they don't have enough information in the show.
I think they could have cut back on a bunch of bullshit in the show and given us a little bit more of her thing and still had like half the runtime.
Wow. I always think more is better.
American. Very American of you, Dylan. We're all American.
I just think all the characters should have been more interesting.
Yeah. I didn't really care about Lulu Lee or the red guy.
What does Lo even do? What is the...
Sometimes he casts magic which distracts somebody.
Yes.
That's what he did in the fight against the final boss there. Is he's like, I looked away for a second because somebody cast a fire spell at me. Oh no.
Because normally he is seen running away from almost every other key fight they have.
Well, he's squishy.
It's like, oh, this is a Dark God. You got to get out of here because you're not going to win this. And then he just leaves. He doesn't do anything.
What does he even do?
What does he even do?
That's why I like this question. Do you feel like the other party members are just kind of useless? Yes.
Lulu Lee can heal.
She can heal.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, that's the thing. Only sometimes. Whether it be she's scared of healing people, or the injury's too severe, or the arrow was made from death itself. Like...
Alright. Ben, you've got questions written down. Do you want to ask those to the group for our next portion of the podcast?
Sure. First question. What is the Silver Swords?
The Silver Sword is an adventuring party that has had fluctuating members.
Okay.
So, like, sort of like it's like a basketball team. All right? There's, like, 90s Bulls, right? That's still the Bulls.
Okay, so...
But there's no members of the 90s Bulls left in the 2025 Bulls.
Okay, so the Guild is basically the NBA.
Yeah,
and then the Silver Swords are the 90 Bulls.
Yeah. The Silver Swords, well, right now, they're like... maybe like Derrick Rose era Bulls where they were like getting good again, but they may not be like 90s era Bulls, which is when the Guildmaster was in Silver Sword.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not winning championships.
Yeah, I mean they don't. The problem is they've got a Derrick Rose in.
I'm just so proud that he knows who Derrick Rose is.
I'm actually stunned and shocked.
I know.
I saw Derrick Rose play live, 14th row, baby. Mm-hmm. That was a sophomore year of high school. So in the spring, which would have been what 2011. Mm-hmm. So that was 14 years ago.
I'll take it even one step further. I'm surprised he knows who the Bulls are. Like,
I mean, come on.
No, my brother is obsessed with the Bulls. My brother Ben is obsessed with the Bulls.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big time.
I always see him like with Bears.
He likes the Bears too, but he follows basketball. Oh, like he likes the Bears. If he had to pick a baseball team, I think he'd pick the Cubs. But he loves the Bulls.
Gotcha.
It's just people will talk about the Bears around here more than he can find people to talk about the Bulls.
That's fair.
So,
both me and Ben follow football a lot more than we
I don't really follow the NBA.
Neither do
I. Anyway, so like we've got Derrick Rose and I guess that's what you'd be like. Alina is Derrick Rose.
I feel like no, she's Jordan.
No. Well, I'm just like if we're saying that current Silver Sword is Derrick Rose era Bulls. Okay. She would be the star, which is Derrick Rose. Okay. All right. Now Jade is pretty solid. He's like a Carlos Boozer. Yeah, you didn't think I could pull. Proud of you. You didn't think I could pull another one, did you?
Pull another one.
This is.
I don't think I can pull a third. I don't think I can pull a third right now.
Okay.
I don't think I can.
Literally is Joakim Noah.
Okay. I was gonna say Joaquin Noah. Okay. Fuck, but it's Joakim. Joakim Noah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, is it like Joaquin something? I don't know if I would have gotten both that and Noah, but
to where it's like the Guildmaster's Jordan and like. Apparently, his daughter's Pippin, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like as much as Carlos Boozer is good, he's not Scottie Pippen. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Pippen. Like, and maybe, and Derrick Rose is not better than Jordan, but Alina would be better than the Guildmaster. But that's proven in this show. Yeah. But it's sort of like they had Jordan for Derrick Rose Bulls, and they had Derrick Rose and Jordan Bulls, is what it seems like to me. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's my sports talk.
So then the Guildmaster doesn't run the Silver Swords. He just runs the
Adventurers. He runs the entire Adventurers Guild.
Gotcha.
But he retired. Was a Silver Sword.
He retired from the Silver. I read this on Wikipedia. He retired from Silver Sword at the age of 25, which I guess you can just retire from adventuring at that age, so that he can lead the guild.
Gotcha. So then Alina doesn't work for the Silver Sword. She works for the guild.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's lots of adventuring parties or NBA teams in the NBA/guild.
Gotcha. All right, next question. If you were Alina, would you still work as a receptionist or become an adventurer?
I would not become an adventurer. Are you kidding me?
Become an adventurer. Not even with her power?
With her power? Probably not.
Okay. You would just work over.
I might be like a guard and be like, hey, but like, I don't know. That's a lot of walking, man. Do I still have? Sorry, am I straight up Alina, or do I still have like my own like weight and knee problems?
I would say you have the health of Alina.
Okay, but I have my mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the cushy life, man. I don't know what to tell you.
It doesn't seem that cushy though. It seems like she works 80 hours a week.
Well, I want to sleep in a bed though.
Have you ever? I mean, I'll put it this way.
Like, I'll go camping, but I don't want to live outdoors.
I'll put it this way. Have you ever played Dark Souls?
No.
Very, very briefly.
Well, in Dark Souls, you can put summoning signs down to join another player's game. And there are some players who just leave a summoning sign at every single boss fight. That's what I do. I just slap that thing down right there and continue my life as a guild receptionist.
So, So
call me if you need me. Until then, I'm here. Bye.
So you'd be like a
you'd freelance. Yeah. You'd be a mercenary.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's there if you need it. If not, don't.
I'm
bug
not
me.
going through the dungeon. I'm not eating the rations or whatever. And I had to eat the goblin that I killed.
Nope, I'm not for all that.
I'm gonna teleport back and sleep in my bed tonight. Oops. But you need me to solo the one girl with a pot on my head and wearing nothing else and just carrying 2 swords. Then I'll do it.
Then I got you, but
I don't remember. It's like he's just called "Let Me Solo Her" or something like that. What was that guy's name? The Elden Ring legend.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
I don't play FromSoft games. I own Sekiro, but I've not played it much.
Okay, that was answered.
Okay, you got your next question?
Sure. We kind of already answered this, but do you feel like other party members are kind of useless?
Yeah, I mean, we did already talk about this. Lululee's got some use cases. Jade is solid.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's your Carlos Boozer. But yeah, they're not really doing much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If you could pick a Dia skill, what would it be?
Of ones that we've seen in the show?
No, just make up your own if you want. I don't care.
Okay.
They're god powers.
Just an overpowered ability is what you want me to pick. Okay.
No, it doesn't have to be overpowered. I guess it's a god power, so like it's probably overpowered, but like
it's the best version of the power is what it is. I think I would do Dia Teleport.
Okay.
If I just had like the greatest teleportation ability, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's a good power.
Or I've always wanted this ability. If we're just talking about abilities we want, I've always wanted time to freeze when I go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
So like I could sleep as much as I want, and I don't have to worry about being late for things.
Oh, okay,
and I don't have to worry about but I want to spend more time doing whatever.
So you'd rather be able to sleep rather than just like not have to sleep.
Yeah. Oh no, I love sleep too much to get rid of it. I want to go into I want time.
See,
hibernation.
I would.
I want time to stop for everybody but me, and then I sleep for 12 hours.
Okay.
And then I wake up and I continue playing Baldur's Gate.
See, I feel like I would be the opposite. I would just have the power not to have to go to sleep. Or just stay up all the time.
Nah, I don't want that. I love sleeping. Sleeping's great.
Nothing that hits different than mid-afternoon nap.
See,
I could go if I was.
See, I hate
right
naps.
now. Right now, I'm like, man. Some days I'd be like, it'd be great if I could take a nap during my lunch break.
Right.
But I only have a 30-minute lunch, and I've taken 20-minute naps before. I've done it.
But they're hard
I've done it once during my lunch break when I was in training, and that was the thing because I'm like, I'm in training. If I'm a little late, I know the trainer is a big pushover, so it's whatever. But I'm like, I can't. If I could then be like, well, let me go to sleep real quick, and I don't have to worry about getting everything else I need to get done during my lunch break done, be amazing.
See, I don't like naps, so
yeah,
I just feel like they're a time waster.
No, it's not a waste of time. It's the best thing you could be doing with your life is sleeping.
I just don't feel it's worth it. Because I'm always tired after the nap anyways.
Yeah, you're napping for the wrong amount of time.
True.
It's all about when you wake up in your sleep cycle. And sometimes I am groggy after a nap because I tell myself, well, I have 2 hours to nap and then I'm going to wake up and I have to do things. And that's the wrong time to take a nap. You just need to let the nap do its thing.
Just let it happen.
See, I don't like it.
100% all natural.
Okay. Rowie, do you have one?
What Dia skill I would pick?
Yeah.
See, now, it's funny that you picked the teleportation and the freeze time. This was all there because I saw on a Facebook post the other day, which anime power would you like the most? And it had instant transmission, it had shadow clones, it had the
Sexy Jutsu.
No, it was one from every show.
Every show, okay. So it was a million.
A bunch of different powers. And I'm like, which one of these would actually be the most useful for me? And it would be that I would want to be able to clone myself to go do something else.
Oh, okay.
take care of multiple tasks at one time. I don't want to go to work today. You go to work today.
Or like, man, I want to throw darts on Tuesday, but I also want to go hang out with my good friend Johnny.
Exactly.
See, would you be afraid that like the people would like your clone better than you?
Because at the end of the day, the clone's still me.
Oh yeah, but
Like,
Still
so
got my
are
same
you talking
personality.
like, so like shadow clones like return and you have like all the memories?
I
or
gather
whatever?
all that experience and,
Okay. Because like there's, what was that show we watched? It was on Netflix. That had Paul Rudd went to go to like some sort of spa and they put him to sleep and then they cloned him.
I just watched like the first episode or two.
Oh, okay. That show was like, you go to the spa and everybody that goes to the spa is like, yeah, it's great. I feel so refreshed afterwards. And it turns out they're just like cloning people and the clones just feel so like invigorated and full of life. But like the poison they used to kill him didn't like go correctly. So they just buried his body shallowly in the woods and he woke up and then there were two Paul Rudds. And he's like, people are like, well, fuck, which Paul Rudd is which? And like, this guy is, people seem to like him more than they like me. And, but I'm more genuine, or I like understand this stuff better, and it's like they just kind of have to both live. Who's married to our wife? Like we both love our wife, but like which one gets to stay with the wife? Like,
I think the wife would pick both.
I don't think that's what happened in the show.
Damn.
I think she picked the one that she had actual history with.
But it's two Paul Rudds.
That's just true. Look, Ben, I'm not saying I wouldn't pick the two Paul Rudds if I was in her position.
Hold on. A menopause rude.
What the hell you say? What did you just say?
Menage a trois. Palmage a trois.
Palmage Rudd.
Yeah.
Palmage Rudd. Okay. All right.
Doesn't quite work.
You got another question for us there, bud?
Not really.
Okay.
I wrote down what was Glenn's plan, but it's just like, who cares?
Who cares? His plan
He's
was
gonna like time travel and stop them dying, but like.
Yeah, right now his power is that he can look at past stuff, look at the past, but he can't interact with it.
He can see the events, but cannot alter the events in any shape, way, or form.
Yeah,
So
but if he gets the God power, then he can alter events. But joke's on him, he doesn't get enough God power. He can't go far enough back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's all the questions I had.
Okay. Dylan, I'm going to space out for a bit, so if you want to talk about solo leveling and why we should... This is a special segment where we let Dylan make his case for why we should watch solo leveling.
Well, see, it's mainly just due to the fact that, like I was telling them before the show, I don't get to watch a whole lot of stuff. I read a lot more than I watch things. And
You said that in the show. That wasn't before
was that part of the show?
Yeah, it was part of the show.
Either way. But I read a lot more manhwas than I do actual manga nowadays. And I had, before they actually started animating solo leveling, there's like 7 different manhwas that I've just been dreaming for them to animate. Which some of them are, near impossible unless you're going to make another One Piece, because one of the ones that I would like to see animated is currently 2,800 chapters long and still ongoing.
Yikes.
So, like...
How do they... Are the chapters short? How long have these been going on? Because I can tell you right now that Case Closed / Detective Conan has been going on since the 90s and is just now on chapter 1143.
Oh, man. Well, I think they're roughly 30 pages.
That's a lot. That's a big chapter.
Which one are you talking? What? Never heard of this.
Marshall Peak. It's one of my favorite ones to watch. Or read, sorry.
I mean, you sort of watch the pictures.
Yeah.
Read the words, but you watch the pictures.
Okay.
So I am wrong. There's currently 4,200 chapters.
30 pages each? How long has it been going on?
Oh, let me look.
Is it one writer?
I believe so. And he has several different...
What, you didn't type in when did Martial Law end?
Anyway.
Began in 2012. And I started reading it when it was released.
Well, it said there it ended.
How often do chapters come out?
Yeah, it sounds like you had a bad time writing this.
Because I haven't been caught up.
Let's say one chapter comes out a week. Let's say that this started 2020.
Well, see, like, the way, without how it's, like, publicized versus, reading it on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I think it's like 60 chapters or one volume or whatever. And, like, they'll release multiple of those in a day. So, I don't know how often he releases, like, each volume, per se, which is, I don't know. I don't know how it's broken
Let's
up.
say there's one chapter a week. If it started in 2012 to the beginning of 2025, we're looking at 13 years. It's 52 weeks a year. That's only 676 chapters.
Yeah.
So he's averaging more than, well, if we take 4,200, 676, that's how many weeks there are in since 2012. Again, I'm just going January to January. If we take 4,200 divided by 676, that means he's putting out 6 chapters a day.
Yeah.
That is not possible. You cannot draw enough content to put out 6 chapters a day.
Not you.
Not if it's 30 pages per chapter. Because that's going to be...
Does it look like that?
Why is it? Stop that.
That's 186 pages that they're releasing a day.
Oh my god. So why is there so
You can't draw 186 quality pages and write a quality script in a day.
Don't get me wrong. So like, holy Jesus, why is there so many pop-up ads like this?
Because you're on a manhwa site. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just saying, I don't think 4,200 is an accurate number. Not if it's one person putting it out. They would have to do nothing but draw 24/7. No sleeping, no eating, no having a social life.
Let's see, like, so this... God, these stupid pop-ups are dumb. But anyway, so like, that's about how much text is on each. There's not a whole lot to actually read. These are like real early chapters and stuff. They get longer eventually, but oh my god!
I just don't think it is as long as you think it is. I think there's some shortcuts that you're not realizing. And I know manhwas are weird because they just one continuous page. There's not like pages.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know. I
It
don't
could be
know
their
how
chapters
many.
are like 2 pages though.
Yeah, but Dylan said the chapters are 30 pages.
Well, like if you pick chapter 1, on the internet, like it's usually about 30 tiles of.
Okay, but 30...
I don't know how that translates to actual. Whatever. But
it's just the math is not possible to me. Maybe there's like some translations getting thrown in there, and that's multiplying some of these numbers. But I'd have to see the math for how this is physically possible.
Anyways, Solo Leveling. Why should
You read it, and you wanted to see it animated. That's not a good enough excuse to get me.
But like Solo Leveling, not unlike Marshall B. Anyway, going back to Solo Leveling, it's started and finished. It's done. The whole thing has been published, and it was just done so well, beginning to end. And when I was reading it, I'm a type of person who I can't watch shows as they're airing because it drives me nuts. I hate having to wait a whole week for the next episode. And every time I got to the end of the chapter, it'd make me want to throw my phone because I wanted the next chapter. Like, it is just such good content, and the show itself doesn't stray very far from the manhwa, and there's some details that, yes, you obviously have to cut in something that's that long and to actually make it a consumable watch. But I don't know. Like, and I know it's not your. Like I said, if you were to watch it, you would probably give it a 6 out of 10. You know. But for me, it's my favorite manhwa that I ever read, and when they started animating it, I went bonkers. It's something I've been wanting forever. And it was a great watch. And I don't know.
So what's the show about? Because my understanding from picking up Osmosis is that it is like is it a regression where there's like time loops involved, sort of thing?
Yeah, at the very end of, at the very, very end of the actual show, there's one giant time loop, basically like restarting the world.
Yeah, so like it sound like my understanding of like regression as a theme in manhwas is that it's like, okay, the main character has been through all of this and has been getting better and better each iteration. Is that sort of the theme? No,
it is like his story is start to finish. He doesn't go through his own timeline several times.
Okay. And I may be getting it mixed up with some other manhwa that I've heard of.
There is, at the like you said, at the very end of the show, it does do that. Like it restarts the world, but I don't know how to describe it. You're not like going through his story again. It just shows what he would have done differently at the end of everything, kind of thing.
So what type of story is it? Why is it called Solo Leveling?
It's a 0 to hero show. So like they're hunters in that show is what they're called. And he was the weakest hunter ever to awaken. And they were going through what should have been the easiest dungeon level there could have been. And it awoken into a double dungeon to where...
Sorry, that's just been starting at the back. Was like, yes, the dungeon, it awoke, and now it's a double dungeon.
What if we had that dungeon, but we had it twice?
But, and there's... It puts him through a trial to where he unlocks this crazy power and he becomes a player and not an actual human. So, like, the world sees him like a different worldview than actually every other hunter. He's got his own. He continuously gets stronger as a hunter. Once you're awakened, that's it. You're never getting stronger. What you awaken, that's what you are. Mm-hmm. So he continuously levels up, and then
even though he's awakened,
so they're all NPCs set at a high standard level. But he can go like, okay, let's go kill some boars in the forest.
And level up, yes. Yeah. And eventually he awakens the power of like necromancy, and he can summon his own armies, and that's,
So he's not so solo. He's got his own armies now.
Yes, that he
solo more like need help level.
Well, that's he didn't join parties. Everything he... It was like a solo adventure. Like, everything he does it on his own. And
like, are there other characters do we care about?
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of characters you care about. Like, I wish they'd go more into it, mainly just because I'm a sucker for romance. Like, there's one big romantic ship that, it's never really explored, because, it's not a romance. But, like, who would be his love interest, who has a crush on him, and once... Well, granted, by like the end of the show, everyone's got a crush on him because he goes from 0 to hero, and then becomes smoking hot, and everybody
Hercules
wants him.
2 is 0 to hero.
Exactly. And
direct to DVD or VHS. It probably was direct to VHS.
What was
Hercules 2 0 to hero?
That's a real thing.
Fairly for sure.
Sounds about right.
It covers like teenage Hercules.
All right, I'll look it up. You keep talking.
Yeah, and it was like, But, like, you still care about a lot of the characters that are in that show. and certain deaths really get to you in that show. I won't say which ones, because if you do ever decide, I would suggest reading it over watching it. I guess if you have the time, I would read it.
There's a Hercules Zero to Hero.
Yeah, direct to video. I told you. I know my sequels to Disney movies that I rented
after
from.
reading, it's not something you want to watch. I'd get it, but it's definitely worth the read. It's a quick read too. You finish it in about.
Well, shoot me a link.
4
I
days.
will. I guess look into it. I just again, my brain is just like every manhwa adapted show. I haven't really cared for that much, but I guess like the one that I've kind of liked is Tower of God.
Tower of God.
But even then, like I never finished the second season.
And see, the Tower of God is. I never got into it. I mean, I was umpteen chapters into that before it, released a show. And it's something I never actually went back to watch after I read the vast majority of it. Which I should. I heard it was good, but I don't know.
Okay. That's been Dylan's solo, not so much solo, I butted in, but that was your solo session on solo leveling. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about for I May Be a Guild? Dylan, would you recommend people watch I May Be a Guild Receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time? You'd recommend people watch this?
I would recommend you watch it.
I would not. I would say you can give this one a pass.
I would recommend watching it. I think it's worth the ride.
Here's the thing. I would not recommend it to people that are
that I respect.
well, that.
So no, those are the people you start.
There are people I know that will watch animes, but they'll basically just watch based off of recommendations. They're not like into the culture necessarily themselves, but they're like, oh yeah, somebody told me I should watch this, so I watched it and I liked it. I would not go to somebody like that and be like, this is an anime you need to check out. Like, I don't want them to like associate me with this anime because I recommended it to them.
I mean, I sit in that same. I mean, some might, like. For somebody who just takes suggestion-based anime watching, I wouldn't suggest somebody watching Food Wars. I think it's a necessity. I think everyone needs to watch Food Wars.
No,
but I wouldn't suggest it. That's.
I think people at Ben's level need to be aware of what Food Wars does, and that's it.
It's food porn, right?
Sort of, in more ways than one. Is I guess what I'll say.
I got the gist. It's a food war. It's like Iron Chef.
And then you start getting into, should you
Iron
watch
Chef
Boku no
High
Pico, or should you watch the first 7 minutes of Goblin Slayer?
Like if there was somebody else that was at my level of anime watching, which is I just watch a lot of seasonal stuff, and I watch a lot of classic stuff, and I watch a lot of anime, I still would not recommend this show to them. They'd be like, hey, is that one worth checking out? I would say no. It's fine if you pass on that one. If somebody said, I kind of like that one, like you're saying, I kind of like that one,
yeah.
I'm like, that's fair. I not really like it. I don't think it's worth checking out. Now, if we're talking like shows that were worth checking out last season, I think Sakamoto Days was worth checking out. I think Zenshu would be like somebody at my level would be worth checking out, but not like a newcomer. Sakamoto Days, I think people would like that one.
Mm-hmm.
That aren't into anime. I think that would appeal to the I watched One Punch Man and Attack on Titan crowd. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Because it's funny and action filled sort of thing, and it's got a nice enough animation to it. Let's see, what other ones do we have here that were recently? I think I would recommend to people that like romance that they might check out Medeka Koraiwa is Impervious to My Charms. That one was kind of neat, but I wouldn't recommend it to Ben. Even though he sort of likes romance anime, I would not recommend that one to him because I think it's just too much fluff.
I would definitely recommend More Than a Married Couple, but Less Than Lovers.
That one was good.
It was great.
That one gets a 7, and I'd recommend it to somebody that was looking for that type of show.
It's great.
But if I'm like recommending something to like, we've got a friend that we play board games with at the Whistler a lot now. He's in my D&D group. Alex knows him too. And I'd be like, okay, if I were to recommend him an anime, it's got to be something that is worth his time to go check out. and that he could like be like, yeah, this is a good show to watch, sort of thing. So I'd recommend Sonny Boy because I love that show. That show is a piece of art, and I think if you have any film, like if you appreciate any like strange film work, I think even if it's not your jive, you can get the like, oh yeah, this is a piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can watch this and it may not be my thing, but I can't like call Johnny crazy for recommending it because this is legitimately has artistic merit and value.
But if I was going to do something like that, I would just be, suggesting FMAB. Like,
well, yeah, but that one's a normie recommendation.
It's also like 52 episodes.
Yeah, that one's hard. Well,
That's
no,
a
that's the
commitment.
original show. Brotherhood is like 60 something episodes.
Okay. That's a commitment. Sonny Boy is like 12 episodes.
Sonny Boy, yeah, it's
you
short
get that
quick.
done in a weekend, baby. No, it's baseball. Speaking of baseball. Next episode.
Ace of Diamond, I'd recommend that for people who like sports anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good show. I like it.
Is that focus on a pitcher?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's something that was drawn to my attention by an old college roommate of ours. He's like, I'd watch baseball anime, but it's always centered around a pitcher.
Yep.
Like, there's not like, and I get why. It's very much, it's why For Love of the Game is centered around a pitcher, because it's like, okay, pitching like a perfect game, that's like a thing. Like, I liked the movie For Love of the Game.
I like part of that movie. I like the pitching part.
See, in my opinion, there's not a whole lot of good sports anime. There's just not.
Have you watched Burning Kabaddi? Burning
Ooh,
Kabaddi
that's
is
a
like
good
a
one.
solid, like...
It's like a 6 out of 10, but it's
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi, so...
You might give it a 7, like a weak 7.
See, like...
But it's fun to watch because it's about Kabaddi.
It's like... Oh, is that the... That's not that water polo...
No, Kabaddi is like tackle tag.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome.
I was like, because like Kiriko's in my top 10 of all time. Like
that's the basketball one?
Yeah, Kiriko no Basket, yeah. It's the basketball one.
It's
good.
It's not a sports anime, it's a competition anime. It follows the same tropes as sports anime, but Chihaya Furu is a really good competition anime.
Like, and I was told I need to watch Blue Lock. I heard that's...
Blue Box.
No.
Blue Lock.
The soccer one.
That's the soccer one.
Is
that the one that has weird animation? Like,
That's the one where I think they all have superpowers or something. It's like hardcore soccer or something.
But, then people like Hajime no Ippo, the boxing one. I'm like, I didn't like it. I didn't think
Hajime no Ippo is hard to recommend because it is very dated.
Yeah.
And there's newer stuff, but it's still like...
Off the air, we got an anime to pitch you. It's an original.
We've already pitched it on the air once, haven't we?
I think so. I don't think that episode came out yet, though.
Okay. But it will be out by the time this one comes out.
Yeah. Well, we're at frag time, so.
Okay. I'm trying to... should just go ahead and say it and pitch it and get his reaction on mic.
Go ahead.
I don't remember what it is.
What? Alright, so
I don't remember what sport it is.
You don't remember what sport it is?
No, I don't. My brain is
blanking
right now.
It is. Alright, so the general premise is we get this, like, manga...
Oh, okay, I got it now.
Okay.
So, you know how there are mangas about, like... Well, there's, like, Hajime no Ippo is a manga about boxing.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's a manga, and there is, about professional wrestling? All right? Now, what if a character, and they have all the crazy moves or whatever.
Are we talking like sumo or WWE?
We're
More
talking
WWE.
like luchador wrestling.
Got you.
So sort of on the WWE, but maybe a little bit less showy, more combat focused actually, and have some sort of competition in it. So let's say that there was a manga about that. And they has all the tropes of like, oh, he's got these special moves and it's got these weird powers and shit. All right. Now, let's take a character from that manga and he gets isekai'd into the real world. And people go like, and he joins a wrestling league and he's like, They're like, well, what's your deal? And he's like, well, I'm from like a wrestling manga. I got isekai your role. Like, that's a good story, kid. Good thing. Like, we'll hire you there. And like nobody believes him that he's from like this other manga.
I feel like there'll be one like side character who does. He's like his sidekick.
But it's just like people are like he just like keeps trying to tell people like I need to find a way home, and I gotta wrestle for money. Because it's all I'm good at. And people are like, yeah, good story, kid. Yeah, we'll see. And nobody believes him. That's our pitch.
I don't know. It would be a good comedy. I'd give it that. And if you sprinkle some romance in there, I'm a sucker for romance. So
well, the mask can't come off. I'm sorry. No
the
kissing.
Mask stays on.
The mask stays on. Let me see the face. No, I can't. Why not? It's never been drawn before. I don't know what I look like under this mask.
Ugh.
That's our pitch.
I don't even know if I have lips.
Nah, I think he's got to be able to eat, so he's got to have an opening at the bottom there. That's good stuff. That's good. I know that we came up with it, but that's good stuff.
I think it'll be a hit.
I couldn't remember what other anime, because I remember there was Batgirl the anime. We had that as an idea.
There's Dog CEO, the musical, the anime.
Yeah, there's that one too. I forgot about that one. Okay. Yeah, we're over frag time. So this is why I like having guests, because we weren't going to get any... No. We would maybe talk about this show for 15 minutes if we recorded this without you. But, you can follow us on Twitter if you want. I check it occasionally. I try to stay off of it because I just cannot stand social media. But if you tweet at us, eventually I'll see it and I'll send you a sticker if you want. You can also visit us on YouTube. We're at Anime Territory. And we are basically anywhere you find podcasts as any Anime Territory. At least the big ones that you find podcasts. You are now leaving the Anime Territory.
Goodbye.
See ya.